What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Kofi Kingston, aka 1/3 of the New Day. You're not gonna say it with me, sir? Yeah, come on, you better participate. Let's try it again. 1/3 of the New Day, and you are watching The Young and the Wrestlers. Ha 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 ha.
Welcome to The Young and the Wrestlers, the Pop Culture's WWE podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Betson, alongside, once again, the floating head of...
Rusev's mugshot. I'm Jem.
Yeah, so we're still trying to work out the layout. Word is our good friend Dash is in the process of making it happen, but with the two shows back-to-back almost, we kind of ran out of time. But it wouldn't always look like this, so thank you very much for your patience at home. This episode of The Young and the Restless is our Raw in review. This happens every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. on your podcast services, including Spotify, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join the conversation, head over to facebook.com/group/thepopculturist, as well as Discord and Twitter. All those links are in the description below. If you want to join the conversation as it happens in the future, as I said, right now we're still juggling some shit, but if you go to patreon.com/thepopculture, support us at any dollar value, get yourself a nice little sneaky link where you can watch us record this show live, as well as our other show for the players, the Pop Culturist PlayStation Podcast. Sorry, the dirt sheet just came in.
Yay.
If you want to support us in a more one-stop fashion, though, head over to popcultures.com/shopping, buy shirts like this and other sort of shit with our logos on it. We are also on a Twitch at twitch.tv/thepopculturist. And before we jump into the show, our Kofi Kingston interview is live. So if you head over to well-played.com, well-played.com, you can go and check out that video. It's all across all our social medias as well. So big thank you once again to Well Played for allowing us to go and have a chat to the Kofi Kingston. Yeah, go check it out. But anyway, man, how are you, Jem?
I'm good. I'm still in shock that we got to be one-on-one with Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, man, it's pretty gnarly stuff.
Cool.
Very gnarly stuff.
It was so much fun. Like, definitely check out the interview. It was amazing.
Yeah. Now, I believe I may have just alt-tabbed something on your face because as I'm copying my screen, so
oh no,
you had an Adobe Audition on your face for a second. So
awesome! I feel adorable.
God, that was bad. I just wanted to make sure I was recording on my end, but I think we're pretty good. So
awesome.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah,
my little man's a bit unwell this evening, so he when he does get unwell, it's just daddy. I'm not really wanted all the other times, but whenever he's unwell, it's always dad time. So I've been looking after him for the last couple of hours. So well, it was a couple of hours anyway. Kind of had a bit of a upset tummy.
Oh no.
Yeah, so he's sleeping now. So hopefully he's all right. He was stuck to me for a while, and I was pinned to the bed. I was armbarred to the bed. So yeah, he rolled over just nice, and I was like, I'm gonna quickly eat some dinner, and then come and do this. But because of that, and I was watching Raw this evening, I've missed a metric fuck ton of this week's episode of Raw. So I've saw about the first half, and then the tail end, like the very, very end bit. So you need to help me out here, Jem.
I can do that.
I'm pointing to the camera, but even though you should be there, you need to help me out, Jem, because there are some things that I have missed. But let me just quickly pull up the notes. This week's episode of Raw took place at St. Louis, Missouri. In case you weren't sure, they say it like 9 times throughout the episode because they really want you to remember they're at St. Louis. It kicks off just with the announcers chatting. So we're straight into the opening intro, which I'm still warming up. I'm warming up to more and more actually. Like, so the Skillet intro, I like the supercut of all the people doing shit and the band, which is very rad. And it's tempting me to go check out Skillet actually because I've never listened to them before.
Skillet good.
Yeah, more and more I'm like, I'm not gonna check them out. Excuse me. They do essentially a big promo of what's happening in the night. They mentioned that we're going to see Seth Rollins versus Eric Rowan in a Falls Count Anywhere match. We'll have the King's Court with Lana and Rusev to sort of that's the pretty much the big front end of the show. Paige enters the crowd. Understandably, the crowd goes bonkers. She introduces the women's tag team champions, the Kabuki Warriors, who she was they started being the manager of back like 6 months or so ago. So she brings them out. We see Asuka, we see Kairi. Kairi no longer in her pirate gear.
Yeah, she comes out with a kimono and a fan.
Yes, first thing I noticed was that change in costume. I was like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I liked Pirate Kairi. Pirate Kairi's cool.
That's her whole thing.
It is her whole thing. And like the intro seems less relevant now that she's just a fucking Japanese person.
Yeah.
But that's cute.
It is mentioned that Kairi will be taking on Becky Lynch this week. After
that was announced beforehand as well. But because it was kicking the night off, they didn't really touch upon it in the breakdown.
Yeah. So, they showed that little video package of what happened with when Asuka pulled out the green mist against Becky Lynch during the Becky, Charlotte, Kairi, Asuka match. And, Paige just starts to have a big old BS chat about 6 months ago, I brought this team together and it could have backfired, but it's freaking awesome. And Asuka just snatches the microphone out of her hand, which I was like...
Before she does that, she does put them over a little bit, and she talks about Kairi Sane, one of the... she was a former NXT Women's Champion, the winner of the first Mae Young Classic.
That's true.
Cool facts. And then Asuka, a former SmackDown Women's Champion and winner of the first ever Women's Royal Rumble. So, there is pedigree here between these two women. And it's one of those things that you kind of forget... because they kind of are off to the side at the moment with what story they got going for them.
Yeah.
So you kind of forget that there is an impressive legacy behind them, excluding anything they'd done, in Japan before they came to WWE. So you kind of it's good to get a nice little reminder about that, actually.
Yeah.
But as you were saying, so as they're having this discussion, Asuka then decides to green face Paige.
Yeah. So, first Asuka snatches the microphone. She says something in Japanese. Paige takes it back and she's like, I'm talking here. And then Kairi snatches it and she does the same thing. And Paige is like, what are you doing? And then, Asuka just spits in her face.
Yeah, love it.
And she's like screaming bloody murder. I can't see. Get me some water. I can't see.
One thing I did, and once again, fuckface Lawler. On point on commentary. Someone's like, I don't know where she's getting it from. And it's like, I think it's coming from her mouth, Dion. I'm like, shut up, Lola. You fucking idiot.
He's a bit of a drongo.
No, he's a fucking idiot.
He's a lot of a drongo.
He needs to get off that panel. That old fuck.
Yeah, I agree completely.
I feel I have to I'm going to repeat it until he goes.
Yeah.
He once again tonight, he was just worse. He's just pumping out dad jokes that aren't even funny. Even many fathers would be like, that is disgusting.
Exactly.
Go away.
Yeah.
It really once again, it really hampers the whole commentary.
It really
you can tell he says something dumb, and then both Dion and...
The silence is a big old sigh.
Go, yeah, and back to the match is like, when you work with a fucking idiot, and you're like, why do I have to deal with this fucking idiot?
Yeah.
What's the name of the other guy? I forgot his name.
There's Dion and...
Yeah, Dion Madden and...
I've forgotten. I feel bad.
Dude from 205.
Yeah, that guy. Anyway, so Asuka starts like stalking Paige while she's getting attended to. Like officials are giving her water to clean out her eyes and stuff like that. They end up holding her back, and like Kairi's in the ring, like stripping off all her gear, getting ready to like jump out and fight as well. And then Becky Lynch comes storming in. Obviously comes barreling down to the ring and just beats the living shit out of Kairi Sane, and then goes after Asuka as well. And then we cut to an ad break, and we come back to their match. Kairi opens the match by like grabbing at her leg and like trying to be like, oh no, her stomach, and she's like, oh, I'm hurt, oh no, it's bad. Like, are you having issues too?
No, I was concerned about my audio again because I didn't actually see it kick over, so you just became Audacity face again.
Anyway, so yeah, like Kairi's like playing chicken, like playing wolf, I guess, and then Becky's just like busted, like completely didn't fall for it and took the beat onto her. very mixed crowd. Half the crowd was chanting like, let's go Becky, and the other half were chanting Kairi Sane. It was
this is the situation that they're having. Like, in terms of, kayfabes, there's been no build up to these two turning heel. So the crowd, as a result, are having mixed reactions. They're like, but we really like Kairi.
Yeah, exactly.
We really like Asuka. Like, the heels, but I don't want to boo them.
Yeah.
Why do we want to boo them?
Exactly it.
You know what I mean? So that's the issue that they're having. So even Becky, who's also still reasonable, quite over, it's like they just don't know what to do.
That's true.
We did the same thing. Like when we saw it at the Melbourne show, like they were the heels, and we were all super stoked on them. The whole crowd was super stoked on them.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, obviously throughout the match, Asuka keeps like interrupting, causing some drama. Becky keeps not falling for it, and eventually she does get a disarm her on Kairi Sane for the win. Kairi taps her really freaking quickly, but like I was so confused
one thing
about
I
it.
noticed actually,
it wasn't a real tap.
The bell went before she actually tapped.
Yeah, exactly it. She like hit the ground twice.
Like she hit the ground and then she went up and then bing, 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 and then she dropped the tap.
Yeah. So yeah, I noticed that as well. I was like, oh, that referee's going to be in trouble. He's not doing his job properly.
Yeah, presumptuous ending there by the ref. But yeah, look, I enjoyed it. It was all right. I kind of had a feeling that Becky was going to win. That's the issue that I'm having right now, especially with the likes of Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Is I'm like, no matter who gets in front of them, like they're coming that way. Like that's why they're the champions, I guess. Because they are the strongest in the division. However, because they're just throwing people at them, it's like, all right, well, you're gonna destroy them. You're gonna destroy them, and I bet you're gonna destroy them. So it's like there's like the investment is minimal, but that's fun.
Yeah,
that's me. Next, we have a video package of the Rusev attacking Lashley at the restaurant from last week, which kind of leads into what was happening later. We get R-Truth. He comes out. He's in fact facing Buddy Murphy.
Yeah.
He does his what's up intro, which I still really dig.
Yeah, same.
Who's having a chat? So Charlie walks up in the ring and says, "Hey, you're about to take on Buddy. Buddy Watts in there. Buddy Murphy in a match." And he's like, "Whoa, he's not my buddy." Man, if they could have snuck a sneaky South Park reference in there. He's not my buddy, friend.
I'm not your friend, guy.
I'm not your friend, guy.
I'm not your guy, buddy.
That'd have been amazing. That would have made me mark it.
Yeah,
that would have been amazing.
Same.
He asked about the Singh brothers, and because she's explaining, Charlie mentions the Singh brothers, and he's like, I knew there was two of them. So, so what I'm going to do in order to ensure that I can get my baby back. He pulls out this pair of fucking old man reading glasses.
He's like, yeah, somewhere had a sale, so I got me a pair of bifocals.
Yeah, so now I've got 4 eyes ready on the belt. Like, fucking idiot.
I love him so much.
But what I really enjoyed though, so then Buddy's music hits. He comes into the ring, and like Truth hasn't taken the glasses off yet, so he's just looking at him like this over the glasses.
Yeah, over the glasses. It's so good.
It's like such an old person. I was like, oh my god, Truth, you look so old.
Yeah,
but
well, let's be honest, he is.
Yeah, so he is actually really quite old.
Yeah. So
Buddy has a chat, talks about how he is in fact Australia's finest, which I think kind of is pretty true at this point. Yeah, you can't argue that, and especially within the male division, the women's roster, you got the likes of Tony Storm and Rhea Ripley, as well as the Iconics. But I think Rhea Ripley and Tony are probably certainly higher on that list. Like Ripley right now is kicking ass over at NXT.
Yeah.
So it's cool to have strong Aussies around. Like nothing wrong with the Iconics. We love the Iconics, but it's good to have those real super strong competitors.
Yeah.
What do you think of the match?
Good match. Don't mind it at all. Like I forget how good at R-Truth is at things. Like he's so swift, and for his age, he's so good at what he does still. Like the dude can wrestle. We just don't get to see it enough. But yeah, it was a lot of fun until like halfway through the match, the Singh brothers do come running out, and they have like the horde chasing them, and they're just doing loop-de-loops around the ring, and R-Truth is like thrown out, and he's just like, well, shit. And he starts chasing as well at the end of it. And then, the referee obviously starts counting and he's like, oh, crap, like I'm supposed to be in here. So he jumps in the ring, just cops a vicious knee from Buddy. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it's
brutal, but fun.
It's kind of expected where I was going with having Buddy involved. With Truth involved. You knew the 24/7 would be around, but it was fine.
I thought it was a bit of fun. And then Truth, like, very dazedly, like, running out through the crowd afterwards was pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Next up, we get the AOP. They're doing, once again, another promo. It was absolutely amazing.
Always. They're always amazing.
I do just want to see them in ring at this point as well, but I understand this drip feed approach may deliver something impressive, which would be very cool. Talk about how apparently the locker room are finding it disconcerting that they are speaking in their native tongues. However, they're like, that's kind of what we want.
Yeah.
One thing I did like is like violence for violence sake. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be exciting. I love that they did switch halfway through that promo back into like English, and they started speaking in English to get their point across. I think mixing the tongues was really freaking awesome. Like, that worked really well together.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, we get Street Profits. They essentially they come out, dance around the crowd, head into the ring. A lot of "We Want the Smoke" chants. And then they essentially just cut a promo on the ring about how they had a match last week. And they won, and they're happy about it, and those babies.
Yeah.
And,
don't pick a fight with us, because now you can see that we're like, we want the smoke. Montez Ford is just like, yeah. And then we were like kissing babies, and Dawkins was like, yo, I was at the, speak for yourself, I was at the after party kissing on this honey, and it was, what was her name? And I was just like, oh.
Yeah, delivery on that was a bit if.
Yeah. But no, it was a bit of fun.
That's the other thing, like, Montez is exceptional on the mic. He is one charming dude.
Yeah.
Montez is the one with the Sunnies, yeah.
Yep. Dawkins is the other dude.
Yeah. So he is fantastic. And his ability to drift between like that jovial kind of charm and delivery to then like super serious.
Yeah.
Is really amazing. And it demonstrates that like that although they are fuck assing around, they ain't no comedy team.
Yeah.
Like, these guys are here, they want a biff, and they're ready to biff.
Yep, they get those "We Want the Smoke" chants going again, and then they just party on out. They're friggin' fun. They're so much fun. Yeah,
it would be nice if there was an Australian team. It's like, "We want the biff." That's what I'd like to do. That's what we're down for.
We want the billies.
But once again, smoke's not.
I know, but you've got to make it as bogan as possible.
Yeah, we want durries.
Yeah, we want the durry. We want the dart.
Yeah, that's pretty good. We then get Flair and Hogan. So Flair comes out, as does Hogan, and the voice of the South. What's his fuck heart? Jimmy Hart. Walking to the ring because they were about to have another Raw Team Team Hogan versus Team Flair matchy thingy. They're yelling
like
at each other.
Like a Raw showcase, like they did on SmackDown.
Just yelling at each other in old man talk. Didn't really give two shits about it. But then it is a match between Ricochet and Drew McIntyre, which is that I'm pretty excited for because I like both those guys a lot.
Yeah.
Ricochet does come out first. He's standing in the ring, does all these flippy doodads. And this is fun. It's just something I was thinking about because these guys were standing in the ring as he was doing his flips. It was a situation, they're standing like 2 meters away, not even, like a meter and a half. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, if I was in that ring and I watched this guy just like boom, like that would be amazing. And none of them are like phased.
Yeah.
I'm like, that would be baffling. I'm yet to see many people do impressive acrobatics in front of me. It's not a common thing that I get to see. Yeah. So I guess I'd be like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
But no one was phased. Drew McIntyre walks out being all Scottish and angry. They tend to go hand in hand, Scottish and angry, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, he doesn't even make it to ring. It just makes it ringside, and then there is an exceptional suicide dive from Ricochet. It was this weird kind of like, the only way I can explain it is because I have to use BMX terms. It's it was like a flare, so it's like a 180 flip. So like he dives over and then twists 180 and then like backs into him.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what's referred to as a flare in BMX terms. I don't know why. Like I know that from like Dave Mera's freestyle BMX on the PS1, and that's so ingrained. So I can't I can't even say like a 180 flip anymore. It has to be a flare. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a flare. Everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, don't worry about it.
I get it though, because he's like against Ric Flair's team. I see.
Yeah,
I see.
See, that's the problem. Now, if I refer to it as a flare, here it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So then Drew tries to get in the ring, tries to take his jacket off, and boo, they just continue to.
It was pretty good. Ricochet
force
dominated the first half of that match, just like not letting McIntyre get his clothes off or anything.
Yeah.
Like, that was great.
But it was fantastic, though. There were,
I suppose, a bit of payback from last week, was it, when McIntyre attacked Ricochet?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so there's obviously some heat, some animosity heading into this match, and I could tell both guys are going 120%.
Oh, yeah. Especially because we haven't seen McIntyre in ring for a couple of months, so...
he's been out for a while, so this was very cool to have him come back. So a lot of, like, punching, flipping. Drew McIntyre is doing lots of cool, gnarly stuff as well. We see attempts of the 540. We see some Alabama slams from Drew. We see some awesome moonsaults from Ricochet.
As always. Even with injured ribs, he did pretty damn good.
Exactly. So he was hugging his ribs the whole time, but he was able to deliver some impressive stuff. In no way was like a spot fest. It wasn't like spot.
Yeah.
But the way it kind of all came together, it was very, very tidy. However, it did end not in a Claymore kick as I expected. No. It did end with Randy Orton coming in for a holy fuck RKO on Ricochet.
Yeah. Yeah, vicious.
So Ricochet lands on his neck, and the bounce of landing on his neck flipped him over. Like, he had his arms for support, but like, and then he's,
yeah, it went flying.
And they replayed it, and I was like, and then I was talking to Dershit Dash about it, and he's like, yeah, it's like gnarly, like how Van Dam used to take him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he would take him in the same way you'd get like a DDT out of an RKO.
Yeah.
And I guess this is something similar because he just started to land on the fucky's head.
Yeah.
It was absolutely gnarly.
Yeah, vicious.
Next we got a backstage promo with the OC and I can't say it. How do you say it?
Humberto Carrillo.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Talks about how he's a rookie and how he's wants to become the most well-liked superstar.
Yeah, so AJ's like, I was once a rookie. I know what it's like, but like, you can be like me. Like, everybody loves me. I'm one of the most liked superstars back here. Like, you can be just like me, but you know, you're chasing the wrong champion, kid. Like, I saw your match with Seth Rollins. Like, wrong guy, buddy. Like, I'm the real champion.
Like, this is the belt you want. I'm like, is it the belt you want, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And he's like...
a mid-carder?
Yeah. And then he's like, you know, why don't you put your money where your mouth is, and why don't you face me tonight in the ring? And I was like, oh, AJ's going to get flippy doodad on. But no, I was like, yeah, hell yeah. Like, bring it on. Like, I was really impressed with Humberto's, with his display last week. So I'm really excited. I was really excited to see him wrestle again. And I mean, look at him. He's gorgeous. Look at those dimples.
Yeah. So are you warming up?
I'm definitely warming up to dimples. I like dimples.
So, sorry, I'm just pulling up some stuff. Yep, cool. That's what I thought it was.
That's okay.
So next up we get a match between the Viking Raiders and some random jobbers. So they were dressed up as the Cincinnati Cubs, an MLB team, where they... So St. Louis has the Cardinals, and I kind of feel that they may have been in... I think they're about to hit... I think we're in playoffs right now. So I think we're in playoffs for the World Series. Or actually, no, I think we're in the World Series. I'm so disconnected from baseball these days, I couldn't tell you. But I have a feeling, because like I know Fox was jiggered around this weekend.
Oh yeah, because SmackDown went to FS1, yeah.
Exactly, yeah, because of the World Series.
Yeah.
So I think that might be part of it. Now, I don't know who won, but if the Cubs won, it explains why they're here.
Who was it, the Cubs and...
Maybe if it was the Cubs and Cardinals, like this would explain why the Cubs were there.
It might have been the Cardinals because I think the team that won were wearing red, so I think it might have been the Cardinals.
Let me have a quick check. So I'll let you have some fun here, and I'll check.
Yeah. So as before, you could probably see me sighing very heavily because this pissed me right the fuck off. We had this discussion earlier this week when we released our SmackDown show about...
Oh, no, it was Astro versus Nationals, so...
Okay, never mind.
I don't know why they brought out the Cardinals. Sorry, I brought out the Cubs.
But yeah, so we've discussed this very commonly recently. Jobbers. And what pisses me off even more about this is, especially with Raw, they have a bigger roster. For every SmackDown pick of 2, Raw got an extra. So Raw had 3 people come through every round. And they still put the WWE Raw Tag Team Champions, the Viking Raiders, against fucking jobbers.
Oh, okay, here's context.
Okay.
It also doesn't make any sense. So the last match between the Cardinals and the Cubs was at the end of September, and the Cardinals monstered the Cubs 9-0. So I guess they just wanted to see more Cubs getting mushed.
Well, yeah, probably.
So yeah, because the Cardinals made their way into the division finals. However, they didn't obviously get into the World Series.
Yeah. Either way, I'm still fucking mad about it.
But yeah, that's context on why they've put the baseball reference in there.
Yeah.
However, the outcome is still the exact same, and your frustrations are 100% valid.
It shits me to tears. Like, the Viking Raiders are the champions. They are the Raw Tag Team Champions. You literally have an entire roster of brand new superstars, and you're putting them against jobbers. Like, why didn't you put, like, I don't know, like... any tag team in some Cubs jerseys and make them look good? Like, you know, it's...
Do you want to know why?
Pisses me off.
Do you want to know why?
To piss me off?
No. Crown Jewel. They have the world tag team what's-a-fuck-it.
Yeah, but there's still plenty of other tag teams that are not involved in that.
Not really. They've kind of put everyone that's getting TV time is on there. Including the likes of the B team, which House Party and stuff. So the reason that they haven't done it is because they can't put them in a feud ahead of Crown Jewel. Once Crown Jewel is done, then they'll be put in a feud. However, as it stands right now, that's why. It doesn't make it okay. If anything, makes me more mad.
Yeah.
Crown Jewel are further fucking up.
Yeah.
Fucking up. The whole structure of WWE, but there is your reasoning.
But they had like the tag teams on SmackDown. Like, why can't you just do like a showcase match like you're doing with everything else? Like,
yeah, that would make it what 3 showcase matches this episode.
Still, it's better than the Viking Raiders, the tag team champions facing jobbers. I messaged you at this point watching it, and I was like, I quit. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. Fuck the WWE. I am so far out. Because I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of it. They were doing so well for a couple of weeks, and now we're back here. Like, we're back at square one.
So we had them do their jobber run when they first came up, and then they got some, then they had some matches with some people. They had a feud, and then now we're back to jobbers again. Just because they can't. Because of Crown Jewel, they can't like the Saudi shows disrupt the flow of stories. It really does.
It's so frustrating.
They just can't skirt around it. Next we get a backstage promo with Lana and Bobby Lashley. She's being comforted by Bobby. They're on a couch because we were hence head of the divorce court. Now this is where my son decided to vomit on the couch. So between now and the final part of the show, it's all in your hands, Jem.
Yeah. So yeah, you see that little snippet. Cuts to the ring. Andrade enters with Zelina Vega as always. As the entrance finishes, it cuts backstage to Charlie interviewing Sin Cara. Talking about last week, and obviously Sin Cara, like, it's a dirty game that they're playing. It's basically 2-on-1. Well, 2 can play that game. And I'd like to introduce to you Carolina. And a woman in a pink mask and a Sin Cara t-shirt comes over, and she starts speaking very heavy Spanish. Lord knows what she says, but she goes out with Sin Cara. So they're like evening the playing field.
Is this anyone that we would know?
No, it didn't look like it. It looked like a completely different person who I've never seen before. I was trying to look beyond the mask to be like, do I know this face? Body shape and everything, could not tell who it was. But yeah, so they enter. I did notice, I haven't noticed this before, the entrance. So like Catalina comes out first, and she comes running down the ramp, and she came over the ring like ropes really high, and I was like, how did you get that? And then I realized I got like one of those little mini trampolinis that you can jump on.
Yeah, so Sin Cara has a springboard, yeah.
Yeah, so I had no idea about that. So that was really cool to watch them do that like tandem. That was awesome. And then, yeah, it gets into the match. Obviously, Zelina tries to get involved. Carolina runs around the ring and, like, tries to rip her off. And Zelina gets her out of the way and tries to do her flippy doodah thing. The moonsault, is it? Or whatever it is. Sure. Moonsault, Hurricane Rana.
Wait, is it when she grabs him with the leg?
The Hurricane Rana, isn't it?
Hurricane Rana, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, she goes to do that. And Carolina just, like, lifts her up and just decks her into the banister.
Oh, yeah, I saw that a little bit later. I saw a replay. Yeah, so Zelina went for a Hurricane on this Carolina chick. Carolina like didn't budge, just picks her up and wrecks her into the barrier.
Yeah, real vicious.
Pick up and just like side slam.
Yep, and obviously Sin Cara.
So saying that though, it did open up Sin Cara because he was standing there looking through the ropes at what just happened. Yeah, and Rusev comes out of nowhere and the greatest weapon in WWE history. Who, what I say?
You said Rusev, you mean Andrade.
Oh, Andrade. It's all these rolling R's. Andrade comes in with a sneaky roll-up and, the most dangerous weapon in WWE history. And 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, feet on the ropes.
Assistance from the ropes.
Yeah.
Pin goes to Andrade.
And he, like, quickly rolls out of the ring and grabs the line and runs off.
They fucked off fast.
They ran. Yeah. So, yeah, next we get a little bit of footage of Natalya and Charlotte Flair walking to the ring. It is announced they're going to be in a competition together up next. They come out and they're facing the Iconics, which is nice. They did not come out with a microphone this time, though. They just beeline straight down to the ring. So it does start with Natalya and Peyton Royce. They start the match. Quickly, like, obviously Natalya is a seasoned veteran when it comes to wrestling. Charlotte's pretty close as well. So they had really good dynamic as a tag team. Quick tags, keeping each other fresh.
Sorry, I just had a look at the dirt sheet. And the first one is...
I'm excited. Bring it on. I love it. But yeah, one thing I did notice is Charlotte Flair's super cocky about things. Obviously, we know this. So, Peyton Royce goes to do something. Charlotte catches her in the air. You hear Peyton screaming for Billy, and Charlotte just goes, Billy! Billy! And just slams Peyton on the ground. It was so fucking good. And then, quick tag back. There's a part where, like, Peyton Royce is, like, clawing at Natalya's face. The referee's like, not on her face. And she's like, I didn't even touch her face. I was just like, you guys. And same with the hair. Like, Peyton's good at, like, she's really big on, like, pulling hair. And he's like, not the hair. And she's like, I didn't grab the hair. Like, so dumb. One thing I did laugh is the super Australianisms of him. Because I think Billy Kay had Natalya in some sort of hold and she tried to go for Charlotte. And she's like, I don't think so, toots. And I was just like, so Australian. It ends with Natalya getting a vicious sharpshooter on Billy Kay, who tapped out pretty quickly. So it was a good match, though. It was a really fun match. Lots of...
Cool.
It was just, obviously, the Iconics are loud and idiotic, and Charlotte Flair just mocking them just made it so much better. So I had a lot of fun with that one.
Speaking of Natalya, though, some news broke post-show.
Uh-oh.
Natalya versus Lacey Evans. Crown Jewel.
First ever women's match.
Female wrestling match in Saudi Arabia.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like, it's kind of like...
Because that's like tomorrow.
Fuck. It's Friday for us.
Yeah. But yeah, like
it's about 4:30 in the morning Friday. This is massive.
Yeah,
because as many would know, Saudi Arabia do have very strict rules and policies around women. Mm-hmm. Take that as you will. Personally, not a fan. But so to have the WWE be able to do this, because this had been in the rumor mill for a while, because I think it may have been there was whatever the previous pay-per-view this was this year at Saudi Arabia, like that was very heavily rumored that there would be a female match.
Super Showdown.
Super Showdown. Thank you. Natalya was on that list because of her skill. Would make sense to put her in that match.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is fascinating. It's impressive news. It makes me wonder what costume would they be wearing.
Yeah.
Mostly because when Renee Young was on commentary, she was forced to cover up pretty hard. So I do wonder how they're going to go with this.
Yeah.
Because regardless, no one said regardless, with WWE's involvement in Saudi Arabia, part of what Saudi Arabia are doing is they are trying to rebrand themselves, essentially. They are trying to pick up their public image. And I guess this is in that right path, I suppose. That's what they're trying to achieve, although I still disagree with them on like a fundamental level. This is what they're trying to do. And I do wonder, they're like, well, is it going to be one step forward, two steps back sort of thing? Like, how is this going to work in terms of a match? But we still won't cover it.
Yeah.
Because like we've taken a stance.
I have no interest. It's a match we've seen 1,000 times. I don't really care to watch it either.
Yeah. So, So I'm sure I'll read the results or read how it went down. But as you said, we will not be covering it. Probably not even be watching it.
Yeah.
Unless something massive happens, like Seth Rollins losing to Bray.
I feel like that's the only match I'd be interested in watching.
Yeah. And other than that, I don't give a fuck. So,
yeah.
Okay. But yeah, fascinating news nonetheless.
Yeah. So next it does bring us to Charlie backstage. She's having a quick chat with Seth Rollins, who's just like, oh, look, Chuck, hate to cut you off, but I've got lots to think of and no time. And I didn't really pay attention, but it's like, Bray Wyatt can't stop the match. I'm going to burn it down. I did burn it down, but it's back, and I knew it was going to be back, but I'm going to burn it down again. But it'll probably come back, but I'm still going to burn it down because I'm Seth Rollins. Basically, the gist of the conversation.
I'm going to burn it down more.
Yeah,
Double
I'm
down.
going to burn it more down.
Yeah.
Harder.
I'll burn it the downest.
Yeah, basically. And then he pisses off because he's got his match against Rowan. So this is a Falls Count Anywhere match, so to be expected. The falls doesn't happen in the ring. That they keep so it spills out into ringside and then into the crowd and then up into this concession, and then it cuts to a break and suddenly they're back in the ring again, and then they're back outside the ring, and then Rowan's carrying Seth up the ramp, and then he's like, he's embarrassing me. Do you see this? He's trying to embarrass me on my first match on Raw. I'll show you embarrassment, and rips up the announce desk, and the guy's obviously grabbing at Jerry the King Lawler, come on, King, and it's I'm coming, but nobody's trying to embarrass you, Rowan. I was like, shut up, mate. He's just gonna body slam you.
Fuck off. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, get stuck under the desk. We can murder you.
Please and thank you. It spills onto the announce desk. Rowan tries to get the Iron Claw, which Seth gets out of, kicks him in the face, stomps him on the announce desk. He kicks out of it somehow. It spills out and back into the back area, and they're throwing ladders and stage cases and stuff like that at each other. And there's a forklift with a crate on it for some reason. And Seth manages to get Rowan knocked out underneath it, and he grabs some staff member who's just hanging out, and he's like, get in the forklift, drop it, drop it, drop it. So yeah, this guy gets in this forklift, he lowers the forks with the wooden pallet, that's the word I was looking for, the pallet on it, and yep, Seth jumps on it, and the ref counts 1, 2, 3, and he wins the match backstage with the forklift as the assist, keeping Rowan pinned down. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so does this show sort of additional lengths that he's willing to go to?
I definitely think so. Yeah, well, he did mention, how he knows how serious it is, and he knows, that he has to burn it down. So, yeah, it's definitely showing that he's going to utilize everything he can to keep Bray Wyatt down. Will it happen? Probably not, but points for trying. But no, that was really cool. That was a fun little utilization of that assist. So this brings us next into Lana and Bobby Lashley backstage again, and Bobby Lashley's obviously offering to come out with Lana. He's like, if you need support, I can be there. And she's like, no, it's fine. I need to do this alone. And then we get some Aleister Black action, and he's talking about, they say the definition of madness is repeating the same thing, and expecting a different result. And he's like, I've been doing just that. Something, something, something. I didn't listen too much because he babbles, and it's the same thing every week. And pick a fight with me.
Did he wear a shirt today?
He did wear a shirt, and he wanted somebody to pick a fight with him.
Cool.
So that's just what we can expect from Aleister Black is just come knock on my door, pick a fight with me. I'm going to instill fear in you. Yeah, I'm going to instill fear in you, so pick a fight with me. Okay. No, it was good though. It's always good to see him. And then we get another video package of like the whole Brock attacking Rey Mysterio and Cain Velasquez while they were tending to Dominic. And then we get our match with AJ Styles and Humberto Carrillo. Obviously AJ with the OC. Good match. Really great match. Humberto's like killer to watch. Like he's very flippy doodah, but he's still very like combative as well. Like he's very hard hitter. Like he had some vicious hits on AJ Styles. Like even the crowd were like, ooh, like they were hard.
Nice.
But yeah, obviously like, you know, throughout the match at one point, like Humberto does jack his leg up and AJ being the like assassin that he is, he just keys straight into that, just attacks the leg.
Where the history in the ring.
Yeah, exactly. That experience
of Humberto.
Yeah, so he locks in a vicious calf crusher. He looked like he was going to pull the poor kid's leg off, which Humberto taps really, really quickly. AJ gets out of the ring. You can hear him yelling with the OC. He's like, I'm going to go shake his hand. I'm going to go shake his hand. And like, do it, brother. Shake his hand. So AJ gets back in the ring, extends a hand. Humberto goes to shake, and AJ does the whole thing. Yeah, so Humberto just slaps him hard in the face. Like, vicious old smack, very loud. And then obviously AJ just jumps straight on the leg again, starts belting into him. The OC get involved as well. And then the Street Profits come running down for the assist. So they come sprinting down, absolutely annihilate the OC, who go running, and they like lift Humberto out and carry him out, which was really nice.
One thing, like what I would like to see in the future would be, Street Profits versus Raiders. So, I discussed this in the past. So, for context, when the Raiders got called up, they were, they had to still defend their NXT championship, tag team championship. Street Profits the one that took it off them. So, I think there's some old stuff there. Nice.
Some bad blood, some old rivalries. That would definitely be fun to see again. So this brings us to the divorce court, aka the King's Court. Video package of what's happened with, the whole saga of Lana and Bobby and all that sort of stuff. Rusev come out looking real snazzy. He had a nice looking suit on.
I did like his suit and sneakers look.
Yeah, definitely. He looked real good, like facially and everything. Like he looked real healthy. He looked awesome.
Yeah, so it's not just mustache. There's a little bit of growth there in the beard.
Yeah, I do like the stubble there. And Lana comes out with this dress that's so short you can see her panties. Like it's cut up so high, but it was still a nice dress. Don't get me wrong. So yeah, she comes out and like obviously like Lawler's like, he's still wearing the wedding band. He clearly wants to work things out. Like, why isn't this working out between you? And she's like, oh, 'cause he's a sex addict. All he wanted from me was sex. Sex out the back, sex out the front, sex in the arena, sex in the car, sex at home. He's a sex addict. And then he's like, is that it? And she's like, oh no.
Before we jump any further, the logic here is fucked.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Because everything we've seen between Lashley and Lana has been sexually charged.
Exactly it. Not just that. She's like, I didn't want to air our dirty laundry, but I have no choice now. Like, you're publicly airing your own dirty laundry by cheating on this guy and putting it on air, like coming out and making out with him. Like,
but hey. Look, it's just that as a reason is wrong.
Yeah.
Because so like your actions are hypocritical to your argument. So whether this be true or not, because Rusev may be the big old horn dog, but
hey,
it's
I'm
just
down.
the actions get crushed.
Rusev can make my day.
So it's just an interesting response.
It's fully flawed because then she's like, he just wanted to put a baby in me and have a little Machka kid running around, and I'm a model and I'm a fashion influencer, and like I can't be having babies because I'm nobody's gonna want to put like take photos of a pregnant woman with all these stretch marks, and nobody's gonna want to put clothes on me. And then out of nowhere she's like, and you cheated on me, and it's like, I what?
Once again, before we jump into that cheating thing, Okay, look, she wants to have a career. She doesn't want to have a baby. That is 100% within her right. That part I'm down with. I understand that. Her actions doing it, bit fucked. If once again, if Rusev had been just trying to sneakily impregnate her, knowing full well that was not her intention or not her current plan, as a married couple, presumably you want to have a family. So yeah, look, once again, that one's a bit nicely grey area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of where they could both stand. Okay, no, I can see where they're both coming from here.
Yeah.
And it would be a situation of, I'm not ready to have a family. You don't want to have a family.
Yeah.
That can happen. That can happen in a relationship, and
definitely.
that may be why it ends.
Yeah.
But then to proceed to dry fuck someone else on a stage is very weird.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, then that brings us into and you cheated on me. And he's like, what the hell? I never cheated on you. And she's just like, well, Bobby told me so. And he's like, and you believe him? And she's like, of course I believe him. And they start yelling and screaming. And then Bobby Lashley, who was in a suit 2 minutes ago, comes out in his wrestling gear.
He's like, yeah, none of that shit happened. I was like,
yeah,
hey!
His cussing on screen was great. But yeah, he's just like, none of that shit happened. And then Bobby Lashley comes storming down in his wrestling gear, and Rusev just wrecks him before he even gets there. Yeah. Absolutely annihilates him.
And the crowd is 100% Rusev.
Him. Yeah, 100%. Lana obviously goes running. Rusev just rips Bobby Lashley apart and is pulls off his wedding ring. He's like, is this what you want? Is this what you want, Lana? And shoves his wedding ring in Bobby Lashley's mouth, and everybody's like, ah! And then Lana jumps in the ring with a kendo stick and starts belting at him, and he doesn't even budge. Rusev just doesn't budge, and he grabs it and he's like, I loved you, I love you. And she's just like, whatever. And then Bobby Lashley out of nowhere with a low blow, and then another low blow, and then Lana slaps him.
So as Bobby Lashley on the ground, dick punch on Rusev. As Rusev's staying there in ball pain, Lashley comes from the corner, drop kicks him in the balls. And then
Lana slaps him in the face.
Yeah. So he drops to the ground and he's lying there in pain, and they proceed to dry hump on top of him.
Yep, basically, and then that's the end of the show.
But he's the sex addict, all right?
Yeah, exactly. It. Ridiculous, right?
Yeah, he's a sex addict.
Yeah, it was a segment. I mean, it was awesome to see Rusev beat the living shit out of Bobby.
Yeah, I instantly hated it because Lawler's in it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to talk to James so I can make a shirt about hating on Lawler.
Yeah.
I need to tell the world. Yeah. Well, once again, the logic's flawed. There's a reason that the crowd are backing Rusev, because Lana is behaving irrationally, not because she's a woman, but her reasons behind her actions here do not make sense.
No,
they do not come together.
They do not.
Now, neither does Rusev then attacking Bobby Lashley. That shouldn't be your course of action. You should be better than that, Rusev. However, this is wrestling.
And it is, the heat of passion, Have you not seen Wayne's World? If you kill a man in the heat of passion, you're a murderer. But if you do it in war, you're a hero.
Well, I said I can't rate this one because I didn't watch all of it, and I feel iffy if I did. Jem, using our illustrious Kurt Angle rating system, how would you rate this episode of Raw?
Look, it wasn't great. It wasn't horrible. I'd probably have to go down the line and give it a dead Kurt. Just one Kurt. I think I was more impressed with it than I was SmackDown. But at the same time, I was like, meh. There's obviously leading up to Crown Jewel. It's all sort of based around that. So for me, it's a bit like, meh. I don't really care that much. But it was fun to watch.
I do think ideally next week, once Crown Jewel is done, is where it should get interesting.
Definitely.
That's what I'm hoping.
Definitely agree.
Yeah, that's what we're excited for. Mm-hmm. So let us know what you thought of this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. Comments below, Discord, Twitter, all those places. Yeah. Now, as we do, Jem, once a week, we reach out to our good friend Dash over at the Dirt Sheet Dash headquarters.
Dash is trash.
Ooh.
But we love him.
So Dash scours the internet, he calls his contacts, sends
pages,
sends inappropriately culturally appropriated smoke signals. He uses owls like Harry Potter. Whatever he needs to do to get that information, he does.
Tweets at people with gifs.
That's right. And then he puts it together into a document and sends it to your boy me. So he goes 1, 2, 3 bits of news this week.
Ooh.
Number
First
one
one sounds most interesting.
Shane McMahon to win the best tag team in the world.
Of course he is.
Shane McMahon is set to return to WWE TV at Crown Jewel to win the best tag team in the world trophy by himself.
Called it.
McMahon landed in Saudi Arabia on Tuesday night with his father Vince, and creative have been hard at work on how to reintroduce McMahon back into WWE TV. The idea being that he will still retain his best in the world gimmick. This is also to goat CM Punk into signing a WWE deal. However, the main concept being behind this is to ultimately continue his feud with Roman Reigns on SmackDown.
No thanks. We called it.
I would love to see it. Yeah, we did. We threw that idea around in the past.
Yeah.
As a joke.
We called it on SmackDown shows.
So it's fascinating for Dash to hear this from his inside sources. Makes me excited. It makes me very happy and mad at the same time. It's mixed emotions.
I feel like a psychic.
A little bit, yeah. Number 2, SmackDown viewership bombs.
Ooh.
This past Friday's edition of SmackDown Live, which went over to Fox Sports 1, drew just 888,000 viewers, and is by far the lowest viewership for a live edition of SmackDown ever.
Ooh.
The show did a 0.41 in the 18 to 14 to 9 male demographic, which is not good. Twitter account WrestleVotes and Dave Meltzer noted the following about the viewership. Internally, WWE expected this past Friday SmackDown to do similar numbers to what the show was doing on USA prior to the move, but it did not come close. So SmackDown would previously had about 1.4-ish, 1.5, or even a mil at best, minimum, right?
Under a mil is not good.
The Tuesday night to Friday night move hasn't gone as expected, regardless of what Fox Channel the show is on. And Dash says, and because I love fucking with Betson, here's a quote from Dave Meltzer. Good luck.
Here we go.
It's gonna hurt my brain. I know that SmackDown number was a freak out, and it should be, but I wouldn't worry about it until November. But I'm shocked the loyalty level was as low as it was. If it was promoted well, that's one thing, but it was, and they were loaded with star power. That's one whole sentence. Dave Meltzer, you fuck. So the idea being that I think with the shift to FS1 for that one show, there was expected to be a drop in views. People would go to Fox Sports, and then see the baseball and be like, oh, okay, and watch something else. Yeah. They did promote the FS1, it was going to be FS1 for the week. But,
and I would have imagined that Fox would still have, like, if you're here for this, like, you can watch SmackDown on FS1 or whatever it was.
Presumably.
Yeah, you'd assume so.
Saying that though, overall, Fox's ratings are not... So SmackDown's rating on Fox have not been what is required of them, and that is a concern. So there is, as per the business deal between Fox and WWE, there was a minimum target required for their viewership. It has not beaten that. AEW Dynamite, in their 5th episode of television, beat both NXT and SmackDown this week.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's huge. Absolutely huge. So that is a genuine concern for the WWE, and I don't see SmackDown pulling the deal. They may still have some wiggle room, but if they don't increase, then we have a concern.
Yeah.
And finally, NXT stars are unhappy.
Uh-oh.
There are reports going around that the NXT talents are unhappy about pay and not receiving raises after NXT debuted on the USA Network. Wrestler David Starr commented on the situation. Quote, do your research, Star, and stop looking for any excuse to have a cause against the big bad. That was a report before they moved to USA Network, and everyone there got a raise. I've literally spoken to NXT talent that has been bumped up to TV recently, and they had a roster meeting with management where they told their TV pay rises were not coming. Casey Michael of SquareCircleSirens.com also retweeted the following. Quote, number of NXT talents have been more vocal about their frustrations, lack of opportunity, and not seeing an increase in pay. Triple H is going to have to do an all-hands meeting to hear them out and work on some solutions to their grievances. If not, he's going to have an uprising to deal with.
Oh, yeah.
I know this is certainly a concern because we did mention with Finn Balor coming back to NXT, he continued his main roster pay, which is understandable because they're like, hey, we're going to move you over here and you're going to be paid less. Nah, it's a shit deal. So I think part of that may be involved here. And they're like, well, he's getting paid this. Why aren't we? We are all on TV now. This is no longer a network only show. We are potentially broadcasting to millions and millions of people. And if you want us to be your top talents, then you need to
pay us accordingly. Yeah. You get paid for your skill level.
Even your exposure as well. So that's aside from their skill level, because we know that NXT are talented. That is unquestionable. But it does come down to, like, you know, they need to be their fair share. Now, because there is no B tier show, you know, there's no main roster than NXT. Technically, it's all main roster now because it's all on television. So, like, I do believe there should certainly be some pays to match that. Yeah. Would they be the same as Raw and SmackDown? Well, no, because the budget for the show itself isn't there, so we can't expect them to be given the same rates. Now, I understand for those that are champions, for those that are super over, like the likes of Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, Shayna Baszler, you imagine they would get additional bumps because of it. Yeah. However, for the remaining talent, it's question, you know, it's up in the air.
Yeah.
And one controversy that I will touch on as well, just as because it would be out of place for us to not talk about it. I don't have a lot to say, mostly because I think it's pretty on the nose. NXT superstar up and comer I've got Jordan Miles is the name I have in my head.
Yes.
That's pretty close. Jordan Miles.
So that racist ass t-shirt.
Yeah, so recently, because his character is Big Smiley Guy, the logo that they have for him is a big red smile with the teeth spelling Jordan Miles.
Yep, on a black background.
This has been released on a black shirt, so it is very reminiscent of blackface, the old gollywog sort of, you know, like that minstrel sort of appearance, which understandably is a massive concern, especially with, you know, race issues in general as well, specifically in America, and that history with that look. A horrible misjudgment. It's absolutely bad. Now, there are reports saying that he did in fact okay the image, but that was prior to it being put on a black t-shirt. Now, I understand. So if you have a look at all the NXT shirts that are available, they are all primarily on black shirts because that's probably the cheapest and simplest to obtain. Yeah. So I don't think the original intention may have been to make it racist. However, once they did it, then it'd be, you know, like, I don't think they're like, let's fuck with him and let's put this on a black shirt. Yeah. That may not be the case. But look, I'm benefit of the doubt here, being optimistic about it. I don't think that was the case.
No, not
However,
at all.
Jordan's concern, Jordan's grievances are totally valid, unquestionable. He is spot on there as well. Yeah. And thankfully, they have since pulled the shirt. It wasn't even sold to anyone, so no one had picked it up. It's done, dusted, it's gone. He is still continually yelling on social media about it, which I think may be a bad decision. Mostly because the issue that he was having is done. So now he's in fact claiming that WWE is racist as a whole. And I think probably X amount of years ago,
could be detrimental to him.
Yeah, I think X amount of years ago that was certainly the case. These are similar arguments to that Leo Rush was having recently about how he was, you know, as the up and comer, there was some sort of, you know, not initiation, but things that you would do, like carrying the bags for the other superstars and whatnot. Just part of the motion, carrying water or whatever. You know, and he had some grievances about it, claiming that it was racially charged by having a black guy carry all your shit. That I disagree with. He just didn't want to do it. And just span it that way. Like, I know it's a horrible thing to say on my end, but
well, we know we do know that Leo Rush is notoriously a bit of a troublemaker as well. So it's not hard to put it past him.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing to discuss, mostly because we're white people. I am a white cis male. Like, I fit all the fucking majorities there are. So I in no way do I truly understand what it's like to be a minority or to even have this history, right? Like, I'm like 9 generations Australian. Like, we are just fucking white as they come. So I don't understand all that history, or that years of torment and anguish. But yeah, so it's tough for me to comment on it. But yeah, the shirt's gone. I thought it was best we touch upon it in some capacity. Not really nice note to go out on, but
no.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that does bring us to the end of this week's episode of Young and the Restless Raw in review. If you enjoyed that wrestling... Wait, no, how's it go? Yeah, this conversation happened on a Thursday morning at 8 a.m. on your podcast services, including Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join that wrestling conversation, head over to facebook.com/group/ThePopCulturist. Twitter, Discord, all those links are in the description below. Come have a chat with us. If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to patreon.com/ThePopCulturist. We support us at any dollar value. Get yourself a nice little sneaky link where you can watch us record this show as well as the other show for the players, the Pop Culturist PlayStation Podcast Live. Hopefully next week we will have the layout ready to go. I will be consulting with Dash. If not, I'll throw one together myself because the floating head isn't that professional. But yeah, so if you want to support us in a more once-off fashion though, head over to popculturist.com/shopping, buy shirts like this and other assorted shit with our logos on it. We are also on Twitch at twitch.tv/thepopculturist. And I think I may stream more of the 2K campaign. Regardless of how broken it is, I think that may be part of what makes it fun. Yeah. So keep an eye out for that on the Twitch channels. I will stream it when I can.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much everything. Thank you very much, Jem, for joining us long distances again.
Don't forget the well played article.
Oh
again.
yes, please go check out AW with Kofi Kingston. It is a timed exclusive with Well Played. So that's well-played.com. Go check that out. You know, give them a click, watch the video. That'd be absolutely fantastic.
It's amazing.
And then in a short window of time, it will be available publicly on our channels. But for now, that is where it lives. So go check it out over there because there was a cool opportunity and we'd love to do more in the future.
For sure.
But yeah, that brings us down the show. So until the next show for SmackDown, I'm Ryan Betson.
And I'm Jem. Bye.
See you then. The Young and the Restless, the Pop Culturist WWE podcast, is fan support over at Patreon at patreon.com/thepopculturist. And we'd like to thank our Patreon producers and our Patreon founders for their kindness, their support, and their generosity. Our Patreon founders: Alpha Ferret, Craig O'Flaherty, David Chataway, Jesse Stevenson, and Jacob Garner. And our Patreon producers: AJ Abatomi, Damian Holdies, Kyle Dunn, Lee Wintershoven, Nathan Massetti, Paul James, Pure Mongrel, and Sean Levitt.